Good morning everybody, my name is Mr. Lount. I thought I'd come on camera today to start off to show you who I am and you can see what I look like. I hope you are all doing well and we're going to do some more English today. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by reading chapter 1 again, what we read yesterday, and then we are going to try and find the description of Gobber today, and we're going to be looking at some words that could be used to describe Gobber, and then we're going to take these 3 words and then create some of our own sentences about Gobber. So let's get started. Okay, so here we are again, how to train your dragon. So chapter 1, this is Gobber. This is the picture of him, so you can see he's absolutely huge and he looks a little bit scary. So let's start by reading again. So chapter 1, first, catch your dragon. Long ago, on the windy and wild Isle of Berk, a smallish Viking with a longish name stood up to his ankles in snow. Hiccup, horrendous Haddock the Third, the hope and heir to the tribe of the hairy hooligans, had been feeling slightly sick ever since he woke up that morning. 10 boys, including Hiccup, were hoping to become full members of the tribe by passing dragon initiation program. They were standing on a bleak little beach at the bleakest spot on the whole bleak island. A heavy snow was falling. "Pay attention!" screamed Gobbler the Belch, the dragon in charge of teaching initiation. "This will be your first military operation and Hiccup will be commanding the team." "Oh, not Hiccup," groaned Dog's Breath, the Durbrain, and most of the other boys. "You can't put Hiccup in charge, sir. He's useless." Hiccup, horrendous Haddock the Third, the hope and heir to the tribe of the hairy hooligans, wiped his nose miserably on his sleeve. He sank a little deeper into the snow. "Anybody would be better than Hiccup," snared Snot-Faced Snotlout. "Even Fishlegs will be better than Hiccup." Fishlegs had a squint that made him blind as a jellyfish and an allergy to reptiles. "Silence!" roared Gobbler the Belch. "The next boy to speak has limpets for lunch for the next 3 weeks." There was absolute silence immediately. Limpets are like a little bit like worms, a little bit like snot, and a little less tasty than either. "Hiccup will be in charge, and that's an order!" screamed Gobber, who didn't do noises quieter than screaming. He was a 7-foot giant with a mad glint in his one working eye, and a beard like exploding fireworks. Despite the freezing cold, he was wearing hairy shorts and a teeny weeny deerskin vest that showed off his lobster red skin and his bulging muscles. He was holding a flaming torch in one gigantic fist. So this paragraph here describes to us what Gobbler looks like. So what we've done is we've started reading from the start of the book, and we have read all the way along so we can find the description of Gobbler, and here it is. So I'm just going to read the description of Gobbler again to you. So, "Hiccup will be in charge, and that's an order!" screamed Gobbler, who didn't do noises quieter than screaming. He was a 7-foot giant with a mad glint in his one working eye and a beard like exploding fireworks. Despite the freezing cold, he was wearing hairy shorts and a teeny weeny deerskin vest to show off his lobster red skin and bulging muscles. He was holding a flaming torch in one gigantic fist. Ooh, he sounds fierce, doesn't he? So, now, from reading this, we're going to think of, between us, 3 descriptive words that we could use to describe Gobbler. What I would like you to do is just pause the video here and have a little think how or what words you would use to describe Gobbler. So just pause the video now and I'll give you a couple of seconds. Okay, and welcome back. So I hope you've had a little think of what words you could use to describe Gobbler. Some words that I came up with that we are going to use is gigantic, demanding, and fierce. So these are 3 words that we are going to use today when we write our own sentences about Gobber. So, if I rub these 2 out, let's just focus on gigantic for now. So, I would just like you to have a think what gigantic means. So what do you think gigantic means? Just pause the video now and just write it into your book. What do you think gigantic means? And now, just take the time if you've forgotten to get hold of your book and your pencil so that you can actually write down today. So I would like you to have a think of what gigantic means. Just pause the video. And welcome back. So, you've had chance to find what gigantic means, or have a think of what gigantic means. So, gigantic means like huge. He's like massive. So, gigantic means like big. It's like it's such a better word for big. It's a much better word for big. So, it describes that something, like the size of something, and it normally describes how big something is. Okay, so now I am thinking of an example sentence that I could write about Gobber using gigantic. So right now I'm thinking about the full sentence before I write it down, and this is what I want you to do when you write down your example sentence. Think about the whole sentence first, with capital letters, full stops and punctuation, and then write it down. I want you to use conjunctions as well to make the sentence interesting. So now I have actually thought of my sentence. So I'm going to write it down on here for you now. So I'll say it out loud first actually, and then I'll write it down. So I put, Gobber was gigantic, which made people feel intimidated when they saw him. So I'm going to write that down for you. So, So there we go, that is my example sentence. Gobber was gigantic, which made people feel intimidated when they saw him. So now I would like you to have a go at your example sentence. And the sentence I want you to write that sentence into your book. So what you need to do first is have a think about the whole sentence in your head. Then punctuate it, then write it down. Remember, capital letters, full stops, and remember to use a conjunction. So pause the video now and have a go at that. Okay, welcome back. So you've had a go at writing your sentence down about gigantic. We are going to now move on. So the next word that we pulled and decided we were going to use was demanding. So I'm going to write this one down. Demanding. There we go. So, what I would like you to do is have a little think. What does demanding mean? So I would like you to pause the video and have a think. What you think demanding means. So pause the video now and have a think. Okay, so you should have had an idea to think what demanding is. I have that it's sort of demanding people to do something. So maybe making them work hard, or they must meet high standards, or they're hard to satisfy. So it's sort of saying you will do this, and you will do this, and you will do it to the best of your ability. That would be demanding, an example of demanding. So now we're going to have a go at putting demanding into a sentence. So again, I'm going to have a think about how I could describe Gobber with the word demanding. Now I've already used Gobber. I already used Gobber to start my first sentence. And we can't keep just... In 3 sentences we're going to write, we can't write Gobber, Gobber, Gobber. We can't start with Gobber all the time, so we have to think of a different way to start. So we could start with he. So this time I will start with he, so it's a little bit of a... It's a change from just using Gobber all of the time. So remember, I'm now thinking of my sentence, I'm going to punctuate it in my head, and then remember capital letters and full stops when I write down the sentence. So, here we go. My sentence is, he is extremely demanding when giving out important instructions. So I'll write that down. He is extremely demanding when giving out important instructions. There we go. So, he is extremely demanding when giving out important instructions. So now just have a little look at my sentence. Have I done anything wrong? Just pause the video now and think, what have I missed? So you should have had to think of what I've missed. Yes, I've missed a full stop. I said remember to include capital letters and full stops when you are writing your sentences. And Mr. Lamp forgot his. I'm glad you picked up on that for me. Now, I would like you to pause the video and write your own sentence using the word demanding. Remember, you need to think of the sentence first and punctuate it, then write it down with capital letters and full stops. Remember to use a conjunction. Remember fanboys or I saw or wobble. So I'll just give you time to do that now. Pause the video. And welcome back. You should have written down your new sentence using the word demanding. So now we've got one more word we're going to use today, and that word is fierce. Ooh, I like this word. Fierce. Does anybody know what fierce means? I would like you to pause the video here and just have a think. What does the word fierce mean? Okay, welcome back. So the word fierce, you should have been thinking about what it means. And I've got here, so it's like showing or being aggressive towards something, or doing something in an aggressive way. So that's like doing something aggressive is sort of in a like a hard way. So, for example, doing something aggressively, maybe like throwing something down, or showing like it's like showing your mood. It's like showing a mood, but he's fierce. He's fierce, and he will show his aggression. So now I'm going to finally think of my last sentence, and I'm going to again think of the whole sentence in my head before I write it down, and remember the punctuation, capital letters and full stops, and also remembering to use a conjunction. So now my idea is, he gets fierce and frustrated after people ignore his commands. So let's write that down. He gets fierce. Let's just make that look a little bit nicer. Fierce. And frustrated after people ignore his commands. There we go. So that is my sentence. He gets fierce and frustrated after people ignore his commands. So, now I would like you to write your own sentence down for the word fierce. Remember, think about it in your head first, then think about it in your head first, then punctuate it, then write it down using capital letters, full stops, and remember to use a conjunction. So pause the video now and have a go. Okay, so you should have had a go at writing your 3 sentences about Gobber. When this video finishes, what I'd like you to do is in the comments on the Purple Mash blog, I would like you to put your favourite sentence out of the 3 on there. I will put mine on there as well, but I would like you to put your favourite sentence of the 3 onto Purple Mash for me, so I can see what you've been doing, and I can read your sentences, because I would love to read your sentences. So that is great work, year 4. So what I would like to do now is a challenge. So we're going to think about, what do you think Gobber is like? So can we sort of think about his characteristics and maybe describe them? So do we know what characteristics are? Just have a think about what characteristics are. Just pause the video. So characteristics are like how you are as a person. So you may be a very angry person, or you may be a very happy person, and that's sort of your characteristics and your traits. So what I got for Gobbler's characteristics is with one word review. So we've already used demanding, but I think that shows his characteristics, demanding. Because I think he is a very demanding person. I've also got bossy. I think he would be a very bossy person. And finally, I have got loud. Oop, just made a little mistake there. Loud. So I think he is loud. So, what I would like you to do is I would like you to write some ideas down in your book. What do you think Gobber is like? What do you think his characteristics are? Can you just write them down in your book for me, please? And pause the video now. Right, so great. You should have paused the video, right, and you should have wrote down how you think what you think Gobber is like and what you think his characteristics are. I would like you to put a couple of the words that you've written down into the comments as well. So tell me what you think he is like, because I would love to see that as well. And that is the end of our English lesson for today. I hope you've enjoyed what we've been doing over the last couple of days. And I would really like to see you posting one of your sentences into the blog, because it's really good to see what work you're coming up with. So that is the end now. So we will do another lesson on Friday. So I hope you enjoyed it.